Okay, thank you.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for bearing with us. We had a few little technical difficulties there. It is 9:04 Thursday, February 12th. I will call this Board of Harbor Commissioners for the Town of LaPointe to order. With us this morning, we have Mary Ross, Jay Wiltz, Susan Woodmar,
Here.
Michael Collins,
Here.
Kevin Erickson,
Here.
Pat Montang is here, Glenn Carlson.
Here.
We also have staff present, Lauren Berteau filling in for Katie, as well as Rich Kula. First up, public comment. I would like to wish a congratulations to our Secretary slash Chief Administrative Officer, Katie, and her husband, Jason, on the birth of a beautiful baby girl.
Here, here. Here, here.
Ellen.
Go ahead, Cal.
Oh, no, that's just
No,
the
that's-
mouse.
The mouse.
Oh, sorry.
Is there any other public comment? If not, let's move on to the minutes of the January 19th meeting.
I move to accept. January 19th. I'll second.
There isn't any discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm abstaining. I wasn't present.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, Chief Administrative Officer report.
Right, so all of the balances on here are from yesterday from the bank accounts. You want me to come to?
I see him.
Public record.
Yeah, I did the January revenue just because I hadn't dove into how far Katie was entering in the February revenues, so I'll make sure to get that on their next meeting. But it looks like the January revenue was well over, a little bit over the budgeted revenue, which is good, 116%. If there's other items you want on here, like I just jumped in, kind of on Monday, so throughout the process, while Katie's gone, if there's anything else you guys want me to add, things might come up otherwise. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Lauren. I will make a motion that we place the Chief Administrative Officer's report on file.
Second.
There's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda, build grant update. I do that every time.
Too many bears.
Okay. So we're moving along. Rich has been really pulling everything together here. One of the kind of the critical components is at this juncture is getting together, kind of the cost and understanding what that cost means. Currently, this is a 100% reimbursement grant. So anything that if we are awarded a grant, we would get reimbursed for 100% of it. But much like the grant that we're doing right now, the Harbor Assistance Program, we have to pay for it first and then submit for reimbursement. So when we're dealing with these larger asks, we've got to be able to have some plan to pay it and then be able to float that until we get reimbursement. And again, I know we've explored some avenues on this existing grant, but that's just what I want to bring kind of to the Harbor Commission's attention today. We will likely request early next week a special meeting to lock all of these numbers in and give them to you and say, here's kind of all of the prices have come in. We feel very confident with these numbers and these timelines. And are you comfortable, proceeding with this under, those assumptions? Right now, the planning grant on the extreme high end, we're looking at a $700,000 ask. That, is again, the high end of that. There's a range of about 500 to 700,000 on that particular side of the grant. We would like to start that essentially in June, and we would pay, incremental parts of that over the next 2 years. That could be blocked out pretty regularly, so there wouldn't be a large expenditure all at once. It could be spread out throughout those 2 years. But the sooner we'd start that, the better. The construction grant, which originally we were in the 1.5 area, 1.6. For that, I'm getting for the repower is really difficult to get all of those pieces locked in. Right now, I'm still working with a contractor on, getting every part spec'd so that we have a really accurate number. And we have kind of a really high view number on a similar project that has been adjusted for inflation. So I believe this number to be high, very high. But I will by early next week when I present, when I ask for a special meeting, I will have a locked in number for an ask. But right now we're looking at 1.8 million for the diesel over electric repower. So that redundant power, that's up from, my initial guess at 1 million. Again, I'm really confident that's going to come down. I just don't know how much. And then my initial on the superstructure at 600,000 is holding. I've talked to Fraser about that and the architects about that. And I'm, that's still feeling pretty comfortable. The reason to have both of these items together was because they're really what, cemented that, interim use of the Queen, having the redundancy in the propulsion is really critical and key to, keeping us running in the winter. But the superstructure is really what's going to have the massive impact on the quality of life and a massive reduction in trips that we need to run, which will reduce cost. And that's really currently the biggest factor in, making this a cost benefit, positive is the superstructure, being able to run less trips with the Island Queen because of an optimized deck is really what's driving that project in a cost benefit way. The only reason we couldn't just do that portion of it is because it's lower than the $1 million minimum ask, for a construction project. So that puts us today at 2.4 million overall for a, redundant repower of the Island Queen and the superstructure, which would, the first component of that would be in September. That would be the 600,000. That would be over 3 months, which, we would, that first 600,000 would have to be paid essentially, by December in its total of this year. And then, the repower would be the following year, 2027, in which, we could spread out components of that, over the course of the essentially the whole 2 years. But, we'd have to have it completely paid, by the end of that, which I would anticipate would be December of 2027. So, that's kind of the part that, I'll have submitted to you in more clear terms. I'm just waiting on that last piece from our vendor to lock in the pricing of those components and the install of those components. So with that, there's one last piece too that, we want to kind of bring forward, and that is the idea that it is a 100% grant, but it may be appealing to have some sort of a match on each of the grants to potentially show, that we're invested, as well in this project. And Rich can, comment a little bit more on why that may be a good idea.
Yeah, thanks, Cal. So first of all, I want to thank Cal for the past 2 weeks. I bug him daily with emails and phone calls. And he's gotten me some great information. But so on the match, I always look at history of grants and to see kind of what has worked. This grant program has existed since 2009. It was a different name. It was Tiger Grants back then. Then it was raised and now it's Bill. So I pulled the grants that were selected for Northern Wisconsin since the initiation. And there have been 4 over that 16-17 year period. All 4 projects that were selected did have a match. Now the program changes, there's different requirements. There's different rules that have been in place. But I think that a small match, whether we were to say 10% or 20%, I think would go a long ways in helping our case. Again, this is a very competitive process. So I think it would increase our likelihood a little bit if we were to have a match. But it's something that we wanted to talk with everyone about.
But not a lot, right?
What's the order
of magnitude?
Yeah, so when I was saying 10 or 20%, so on the planning side, we're going to be asking for 700,000. So the match, you could do 70,000 or 140,000.
Yeah.
The 2.4 for the capital project, that's grown. It was 1.5, and the 2.4 number that he mentioned earlier, we still end up with a good benefit cost analysis ratio on that. I ran the numbers yesterday. Mike and I talked this morning. We're still at a 1.82 if it's $2.4 million, which is good. So the question here becomes, now that it's grown, maybe now it's 10%. So 240,000. I think the likelihood of us getting both it's not likely at all. There's been 4 projects over 16 years in Northern Wisconsin.
Are these all marine projects or are they, what is the build grant program?
No, so this was, they were different roadway projects.
I think that bridge in Superior, the Bong or the Black Neck, that was a raid.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so, if I were doing it, I probably would say 10 or 20% on the planning side and 10% on the capital. I think that positions us better. I know Cal is concerned about, the timeliness, because we have to pay the bills and then we have to get reimbursed on these. And historically, I know on the DOT side that DOT has been very good at that over the years. 30 days, there's always issues that come up, especially if there's questions on the documentation that you provide. But, as far as paying and getting reimbursed, we would stay on top of that through the process. So we've got eligible work that we can, submit, we submit it right away. It's really up to what you would like to do. But I think some sort of match would help.
I have a question. Do people typically, entities typically find the money and then apply for the grant? Or do we apply for the grant? If we get the grant, then we find the money?
Well, it's better if we have that sort of identified.
Okay.
And the other part is really contingency. And that's one of the things where I don't need to go into too much detail in the actual application, but we do need to at least recognize that there would be a source of funding if, for example, the planning project went to 725,000. That there was something in there that we have the ability to cover that additional 25,000. We would we don't have to necessarily identify right now where that comes from, but the mechanism in which that we've thought about the contingency and that we're prepared if costs do overrun.
And right now, the cap is 2.4,
Yes.
that's likely to be high.
Well, it sounds like, yeah, it
Sounds
sounds
like.
so, one of the requirements of the application is that your. I wouldn't call them bids, it would be more like engineering estimates.
Yeah.
For the application need to be less than a year old. Okay, so we received the planning one yesterday, and that, you know, we're waiting today, tomorrow on the 1.5 to 2.4, the capital project update. Because I think Cal, correct me if I'm wrong, I think our last numbers were 2023 that we had on that. We need to get that within that year timeframe. So that one did grow.
Thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to the next meeting. Just let us know a couple days.
So yeah, on timing on this.
Deadline's the month to submit.
The 20, you want us to put it
20.
at 26th?
No,
19th.
the 19th.
Oh, the 19th?
Okay.
That would be
Yeah.
the special meeting, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's due on the 24th. Historically, well, there's a couple of factors. One, historically, these websites can be complicated. They have issues with them. If we were 1 minute late, we would not be
Sure.
considered.
Sure.
There is an email address. They're pretty good about responding to help type emails. I can't load this, I can't. But Cal and I also are going to be at the PBA conference. And we're starting on the 20th.
Okay.
So for those two reasons, I would rather not have it hanging over our heads while I'm off island. I'm taking my computer with. And as soon as we get there, I'm gonna be just making sure I can access various things.
The 19th is a week from today.
Yes,
Do we have till the end of the day on the 19th?
we do. It can be any time on the 19th. We're just trying to wrap it up. Number one, so that there's no last minute issues with the website that prevents us from submitting, and to make sure it's submitted before we leave the island.
Do we want to try to schedule that meeting right now?
Sure.
Well, number 11, meeting dates.
Well,
Yeah, we
so
could, but we could
on
analyze it.
This is a special meeting too.
part of the application, and I always develop what I call mock submittals. So I keep them in old copies and stuff. We're in pretty good shape at this point. Is it's going to take some work this weekend, which is fine. But one of the requirements is that we submit, how much of it, if we're going to match, what we're including. And
Also, you'll need to update that.
that does have a little bit of a ripple effect through the document.
Okay.
It's in more than
So
one
sooner the
place.
better.
So sooner the better. I do have right now, literally, I do have placeholders in here and I highlighted it. I'm ready to update it quickly, but we will have to make a decision. So earlier in the week for that would be.
I'm available all week. If you want to throw out a date, we could see what works for.
Does the town board have to approve any of this?
You have to find out if we have the money, right? Or
It's-
borrow that.
Yeah, I guess it's arguable if.
We have a low open line of credit.
Yeah, I think if it isn't something that is a new obligation. So if we have, the 600,000 line of credit that we would use for the match. I think that's fine. It would not be a bad idea to let them know,
Right.
at the next opportunity.
And so,
also have to have the
even
ability
if we
to-
get it, we don't have to accept it.
We
So
have to have the ability to pay, right?
Yes,
Which is the line of credit,
Pay-
the 600.
back, the line of credit. Yeah.
But the entirety of the project and then we get reimbursed.
Oh, right, yes.
but you can, just like the HAP, you can,
Stagger.
Stack-
Yeah, you can make,
Bills and.
Okay.
reimbursement requests as
Reimbursement.
Would it be beneficial for us to figure out the amount that we're willing to match right now so that Rich can move forward? Is that, we do that within this agenda item?
I think we just go with his recommendation.
Yeah, I agree.
Right,
Is
but
there,
he needs that from us, right?
I'd say
Yeah.
20% and 10%,
Yeah.
like 20% on the planning.
Planning and 10 on the capital.
Someone make a motion.
I will,
Go ahead.
as he said, as stated. Yeah, thank goodness. Might I make a motion that we advise Rich to submit both. I'm really ready for that. Both items, the build at, was it 20?
no,
Planning,
20.
planning at 20% and build at 10%.
I will, is
Capital, yeah.
there any discussion?
I'm late on the game on this. I don't know how thoroughly it was discussed at the last meeting, but is everyone's agreement that the repower needs to be part of the superstructure construction grant?
It's $1 million minimum and it's 600,000 for the superstructure. You might as well throw.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that helps our case, actually, sorry.
Okay.
Get a little environmental impact as well.
Well, you know, part of it is that the engine that's currently on the Island Queen is 28 years old. And it's aging and it's taking more maintenance and there's cost, which we've been working on Cal. Also, we've included as part of the benefit cost analysis over the 20-year planning horizon. If we had a catastrophic failure of that engine and it ended up, you know, in the ice, someplace coming across, and the costs associated with that. So even if you remove that, I calculated there's about 19,200 trips in the ice over that 20-year period, plus or minus. And, you know, one catastrophic failure, you know, could happen. But for a sensitivity analysis, for the benefit cost analysis, I said, okay, it works perfectly for the 20 years, we're still positive. But I think there's a good story to be told, and from a phasing standpoint, that happens first, because then you're able to reconfigure it and start to reduce the number of unscheduled trips. But the repower addresses that 28-year-old engine. Probably more than you wanted.
No.
No,
And
that's good.
Cal, could the repower happen in Washburn or would it have to go up to Fraser?
The repower itself could happen in Bayfield for the most part. The only components are if the cooling capacity of the current grid cooler isn't sufficient enough, we'd have to haul it out to put in another grid cooler. That would be the only reason it would have to come out of the water. That isn't known at the moment. Would probably be safe to assume that's the case. So yes, it would be, worst case would be Washburn.
Yeah, I mean, on the newer motors, they require a cooler for engine heat, but also a cooler for the charged air, don't they? So you'd have to add a cooler.
Potentially, I think it's really going to be more about the there are ways that you could put that into one grid cooler, one circuit, much like the engine and transmission. There are some advantages to having them separate, but you know, there's going to be two generators, and so that's really where you know having potentially that increased capacity might alone come from you know the two new engines, because the idea would be that with any one generator online, the vessel would still be able to operate at a significant capacity to be able to get back to the dock. You know, so they're going to be relatively well sized as well. So it will be a step up in, you know, overall capacity. But outside of that, you know, that's the only, you know, major through hull out of the water operation that we'd have to do on the vessel.
I should add the governor's office has written an endorsement of it. And so Tom Tiffany has agreed to do the same, get that very soon. And Tammy Baldwin's office is going to be delivering as well. So we'll have both sides of the aisle.
Excellent.
Great.
Thank you all.
Fantastic.
So in light of that, we have not voted on this motion. I don't think we didn't make it that far. In light of this motion, do you think we still want to try to plan a meeting early next week to review the final numbers and details? Or are we comfortable enough to follow Cal and Rich's? Let them take the lead?
I think it's been thoroughly, what did you say? I'm
I'd
sorry.
recommend a meeting,
Okay.
just to see what we're asking for and make sure we're really comfortable with it.
And I would feel good about that too, because these, right now, again, the biggest number in the room, the repower, again, as much as I feel that it's going to go down, there's so many moving parts. I'd rather, I give you this document, you guys can look at it quick and it's less and everything's looking better. But also if it does, go up by chance, that everybody's had an opportunity to review it and feel comfortable with what that looks like.
Okay, great.
And sorry to interrupt, is there a way that we could get just a one page? It doesn't need to be a resolution, but something that the Harbor Commission is on board with.
Minutes.
Yeah, the minutes would work.
Okay, so if I could get those by Tuesday?
Yeah.
We would want the final one though, right?
Yeah, the final
The
one,
approval.
not today's.
Correct.
Yeah.
Got that special meeting.
So Thursday, you'd get a week from today, you'd get she can give you the draft language.
I think he wants to meet before Thursday. Well, so
Oh,
We could-
Well, I mean, the
Special meeting.
goal is to get it submitted on Thursday, it doesn't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
We could have a meeting on Wednesday.
Let's figure out the meeting dates, at the meeting dates apart. And approve the motion.
okay, so we have a motion and a second on the floor. There's no further discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, ice and weather update.
No.
Number
no,
7.
Won't.
Oh, consider approval of $450,000 loan request. Sounds like the town board has agreed.
Yeah, it was great.
Thank you to the town board.
Yeah.
Do we need any formal action here to, I know
We
we,
approved the request to
Okay.
them and they've approved our request. So I think we
That might
just,
have just been a clerical error.
yeah, I think we just need to have,
thank the town board.
well, no, yeah. They also moved the due date for the future rental leases to July 31st from
When-
February 15th.
That's handy.
Boy, that's really nice.
Yeah, it really is.
So there will be, the town is preparing a new lease with that new date in it, and it will specify, that it's with the Harbor Commission. I think it's still probably, the original probably still says Meadowlark Fairline Inc. So, anyhow.
And does that money just automatically get deposited or do we have to submit a request?
I think we direct probably Lauren or Katie, when, I don't know exactly when they need the money for cash flow, but they just communicate with Katie Abbott. And then she does the transfer. It's just
Because right now we're looking pretty good.
yeah,
But come April, who knows?
well, yeah, and we've got to pay the management fee end of February.
Okay,
March,
Right.
March, right?
Yeah, I think March 1st or something like that.
right.
All right, now we'll talk about the ice and weather.
So just some updates from my end. We have communications with Windsled Inc. Just about daily right now. We've got a lot. The temperatures were supposed to be rising a lot earlier in the week than they did, and luckily they've been holding off and staying pretty cool. We've got some warm temps coming, looking like a 5-day span of temps, getting up as high as mid 40s, coming up here pretty quickly, sunny. This weekend, it'd be an awesome weekend, but it's also going to do likely some damage to the ice road. But once we get on the backside of that, the temperatures look like they're dropping back off. So as kind of we're standing right now, I can't speak on behalf of the ice road, but just based off of the knowledge that I have is, it's looking like we're going to be shut down for another couple of weeks as far out as we can sort of see in the forecast. And whether it's Windsled or Vans or, that sort of a thing, I can't really say, but I'm thinking we're going to be able to make it, easily to the backside of this warm spell. And the ice road will hold up. I'm not seeing anything too concerning there. So we just, cut a hole in front of the Island Queen in Bayfield to get a bubbler underneath the ice out in front of it to help it break free when we have to. That just freezes back in, but we had over, in the harbor there, we had over a foot of solid ice right there. And I'm hearing as high as, 17 inches of ice in various other spots along the road. So there's definitely some good ice out there. But that's how I see it as of today. And just again, as always, weather changes. But that's what it's looking like at this moment.
Thanks, Cal.
Did we solicit an opinion from Arnie or any input? Winslet Transportation, excuse me.
Not.
No.
No, not yet. Approval of bills.
Here's your stacked bills. We have here. The second page or third page has the summary if you want to look at that. He made me a note that the reimbursement to Nickel, I reduced it by $5,806.41 because the last reimbursement check that they got included their credit card fees twice, or not fees, but the reimbursement twice. So I did subtract that from just a heads up. There's the bill for Bun Bryson, Baker Tilly, some bank fees.
What's the, is that Railroad Commission? Is that the lease for the?
I'm not entirely sure what that is, but
No.
I never saw it when I was working, but it's like an old bill that never got paid, that Katie got a notification saying that we were late paid. The bill is like the actual statement
Yeah,
from the
that's
road
An
commission.
annual
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Zach, this is Robin.
Yeah, Robin.
The railroad, I didn't catch how much it was for, but the railroad.
19,000.
Oh,
It says
I don't know.
assessment, remaining assessment fee.
assessment for what?
It doesn't say, it just says remaining assessment.
That could be the railroad bill.
Right here and the actual statement is right there. Katie and I have both never seen it. And
Remainder of assessment
I've been
is a mill rate of the gross intrastate operating revenues.
That's the railroad commission.
Yep.
Is that something, Robin, that Mifflin was paying every year?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, it's what we would pay in 26 would be for 25, 25 for 24. It's kind of like property
Yeah.
taxes.
This was actually due in
Yeah.
October of 25, so.
right.
Right.
And
And-
Mifflin never paid it, correct, from last
No.
fall?
And the thing is, I think Katie filled out that paperwork last year. I had done it many years before. The amount varies. What they do is they assess the Washington Island Ferry and the Madeline Island Ferry are under the Railroad Commission, but they take the revenues of all the railroads in Wisconsin and the two ferries. They have their department budget and then they allocate it. So it can bounce from year to year.
Okay. Well, I will make a motion then that we pay the bills as presented in the total of $372,879.25.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Okay.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Future agenda items?
It would be at a special meeting to go over the bill grant proposal. And then separately, I had the dock lease for the town. You're gonna rewrite it, you might wanna have to approve it at some point.
Oh, yeah. It may be ready. I don't know that it'll be
Yeah.
ready in a couple of weeks. So.
But that's not an urgent.
Mhm.
No, that would probably go on a different agenda
Yeah.
than the build grant.
Yeah, definitely not at the special meeting.
That's all I have.
Don't we have to submit the 2026 tariff?
You already did.
No, we submitted the
The amendment.
amendment to the 2025.
Well,
We're not changing
we're
anything.
not changing it, so we don't have to submit it.
What about the school contract? And requesting
Dave?
payment for special trips?
That would be at school contract renewal time, which I think, when does that usually happen? Like in the
In the fall.
fall, yeah. Because they're locked in through the end of the school year right now.
And I think in the tariff, didn't we put language that it follows the contract that we have, contracts?
I believe so.
Yeah, so we can
That's
change
my-
the contract.
Yeah, that's my
without
understanding
having to
too.
change the tariff.
Good. So what, 2 weeks out?
You're leaving.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out of town for the next week, but that's okay. I can bring my computer and I'll just have to do it. Everything from far, but that's fine.
As far as a regular meeting.
Regular meeting, I'll be back by the 23rd, so.
Good.
Do you want to do an evening meeting?
Yeah, yeah, we should.
What time are we doing those?
4:30.
4:30.
Is this the special meeting, the regular meeting?
This is the regular meeting, and I think you're looking at the 23rd.
Monday.
Special.
Yep.
Early next week.
So February 23rd at 4:30,
Sure.
special meeting.
I'm available all of next week, I believe.
Except for Wednesday.
No, but- Oh, except for 4:30 on Wednesday evening.
Well, Monday, I don't know if it matters to anyone. Monday's President's Day.
Tuesday is St. Patrick's Day.
Tuesday's.
Well, that matters.
Let's have it, how about 7
Oh, I
o'clock
am a month.
Wednesday morning.
Thank
You
you.
can wear green though, Glenn, if you
Yeah,
want.
no, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. I was wondering where the days went, yeah.
So
Tuesday,
Tuesday, the 17th. What time? Do you want to do a 9 AM? Do you want to do later? Maybe?
find any time.
9 o'clock is
Yeah.
convenient for me.
Yeah. 9
I'm
o'clock.
flexible.
Me too.
Okay. I will be zooming into that meeting, but I'll have Georgie make sure you
I
guys.
will be as well.
What you need.
And Rich, you really think by the end of this, Rich and Cal, by the end of this week, we'll have those numbers?
I hope so. Cal?
Yeah, so I'm waiting on just one left, and that is just the that repower. You know, I'm doing my best. It's out of my control though. There's a lot of pieces there. I was told I would have it last week, then Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, but now I'm being guaranteed Friday. I'm gonna have that final number. So I hope so. But it's really I'm dependent on the vendor.
Got it.
Are you comfortable with the 17th? And you could give us, you could let us know anytime if you don't
Yeah,
happen to get it, and we could try to move it.
Because I mean the way that he spoke with the guarantee of Friday, I'd feel comfortable that worst case is he's scrambling on a Monday morning to get me something, and hopefully I could get it to you right away on Monday for the 17th. But yeah, I'm hoping that works.
Great. Are we ready then to move on to public comment? B? Do we have any public comment?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Evan. Oh, sorry, Cal. Thanks, Evan.
Thanks, Adam.
Go ahead, Cal.
I just wanted to, I passed along some notes from the crew that did the fire training to
In
the
your packet.
to the HC.
Yep.
I just wanted to comment on that and say how great I think that is for our community, to have that. And I think it was just a massive success in, we have, 4 more captains now trained in firefighting and firefighting techniques that will be a, pretty critical asset to, our maritime safety and our vessels. So I just wanted to point that out and then again publicly thank those captains. It was a long week. They had to do live fire, but I'm pretty excited now that we're, bringing that skill set of maritime firefighting, locally.
Thank you.
Great.
Move on to agenda item 13, review of Madeline Island Ferry Line Management Contract.
We'll be going to closed session under state statute 19.851.
Thank you, Cal and Robin and Evan and Rich.
Thank you, guys.
You want me to call you when you need her, when I'm done here? Give me a ride? Okay.
I'll do the roll call vote for this. Mary Ross. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Now I'll do a roll call vote. Mary Ross,
Aye.
Jay Wiltz, Susan Whitmire,
I
Michael Collins,
Aye.
Evan Erickson.
I.
I am a yes. Glenn Carlson.
Aye.